And now we're going to move from Sweden to Denmark, and we're going to meet Pia Hansen and Helene Jensen. And Pia, she's a Master of Design from the Kungliga Akademi, and she has been the lecturer at the VIA University for the last 19 years. And Helen is an educated textile designer from the design school in Kolding. And since 2019, you have been working together with this project Spin In. So please.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. I just see where to go. This. Yes. I would like to welcome you all to Spin In. And this is where we're going to stay in the next 10 or 15 minutes. Now we've heard a lot of words. I think you also heard a lot of words yesterday. And now we would like to share with you what you can do with the project. So this is kind of a hand-on, you can say. So Spin In is a part of a cluster in Denmark. So this is also a cluster. I don't know what kind of a metal we are having. But Lifestyle Design Cluster is from Denmark. And we are a part of that. So the project is that we have companies that are giving a challenge. And then we have a team of students. And then we match the students with the company, and they they give a solution to the challenge that the company are placing.
And it runs every year, 2 times a year. So it's different from what both you, Sanna, and Adrian is doing, because we have been able to make moderations and keep on doing the same project for 5 years now.
Yes.
We'll start by...
So we'll start by showing you 2 videos that are showing cases we have had. So the first one is a jewelry company called Maria Black that has the challenge was no packaging, or what to do with the packaging in e-commercial. And the next one is from a Danish fashion brand called Gabba, where we just had a Spin In.
No waste packaging. That's why we came up with this powder where we cast the jewelry in. We made this solution so that it's dissolvable in water, and what you're left with, it's only a ring.
Så det er mega inspirerende og helt klart noget, vi vil gå videre med. Jeg er meget glad og meget stolt over dem.
So, but as you could see, this is kind of unique. You make a ball and then you put it in the water. And of course, this is a solution, but you can also say there is a lot of problem with the solution. What we are giving them is the first take to a solution. So this is, you can say, the companies has to continue working with it afterwards. But they have a first take, and of course, it's different where the companies are in the sustainable ladder, where what kind of solutions they're looking for.
So this is it.
We hope something is happening now. We don't know. Otherwise, I can do the Gabba.
I think you should always be open for new things, and especially this project have given us a lot. So I can just say that Spin In has been something very good for us, so we feel more comfortable about the future.
Spin In takes in new students and let them work on challenges that the companies have today.
So they just presented their finding to us and what their proposal as well, with this pair of jeans where you could put in a tag and a barcode, and then you could scan and get all the information about the products. The EU are making more demands for us as a company, especially in textiles. And there we try to make sure that we of course comply with the regulations that there are.
Changing this fashion model is something which is really difficult, because we have always been used to that you buy it and then you throw it out. Now we need to see, okay, you design it. So this whole model is changing. So how do we make it to close the loop again?
I think this participation helps me to show to possible companies that I already have the experience working with them, and the company is really happy with the result that we had it. So I think this is really relevant for my future.
I hope that I can be one of them in a design team who can say, of course we need to link this to sustainability, but I can be a part of the visual creative part.
My impression was that them having different backgrounds, one from the design school, one from a Southern Danish university, gave them different perspectives into the project. And I think that helped the project to get both a design product understanding and also commercial understanding from the other perspectives. So I think that was good for the project.
Yes.
Yes. And you probably wonder, how can all this happen? And it's thanks to Lifestyle and Design Cluster. They support us now for 5 years. And they are an organization that is supported by the Ministry of Higher Education and Science in Denmark. And they run maybe 30, 40 projects at the time. Maybe you have worked with them already. But in the end of our presentation, we have the website of Spin-In, and you can look into more of their projects. They mainly work with small to medium-sized companies, and mainly within fashion, textile, and the furniture industry. So,
should I change this?
Yeah. At the moment, we have worked with more than 30 companies, and the funny thing is, some companies come back year after year and give us a new brief. And then we have worked with over 150 Danish and international students. And that's a core part of the project, that we work with different kinds of students. And when we set up the teams, they have to come from all different backgrounds. For instance, we have just finished 6 sprints in the start of October, and we had philosophers, biologists, management people, economists, of course a lot of design people, but from various design backgrounds. It could be sustainable design, or it could be fashion design, or furniture design, and all kinds of different backgrounds. As you can see, go one back, some of the tasks we just did was very different, but all are to do with sustainable and green transition. We did normal design tasks like redesigning the uniforms for hospital staff. So we have one uniform, a unisex uniform, and that's a normal design task, but it's very much to do with inclusion and diversity. We also do nudging projects. We also had another one where we were asked to, how can we get citizens to hand back the crunches and the canes after an operation to the hospital. Then we have normal tasks like you saw in the GABA, is to do also what Adrian and Sanna said about the new EU regulations. How can we get the companies ready for all that's happening? And then we also have a lot of projects similar to the one you're doing, Sanna, with the textile, and what can we use cut off and textile waste for. We also give the teams different tools to work with, similar to the ones we already have presented. It could be the double diamond, or it could be a butterfly model. And it helps them to come forward in the project, but also to sometimes come back in the process. You probably all know the double diamond, but the team I just worked with here in the Spin-In I was mentoring some weeks ago, it was about a Danish curtain company having 500 kilos of cut off every month, and what to do with it. So of course the team, they started researching all kinds of different solutions, mechanical and chemical, recycling, but they also looked into polyester, because 90% of the cut-offs is polyester. So what can you actually use polyester for? So a lot of research, and it ended up that here in the middle of the model that they reframed the problem and they got to a completely different solution. And that's also why it's so nice to be the mentors of these projects, because you never know where it's ending. It's unpredictable. Yeah.
And then, of course, it is the companies are, I think some of them are also very confused, and there is a lot of demands on where to start. And that is where we try to help them. So some of them say, oh, we would like to, we have something to work with, and then we help them to describe the challenge that they're having. And it's very important to have to describe the challenge. The more clear the challenge is, the better the outcome will be, and it's also the better solution they will get. The challenges, and I think when you work with the challenges, you also get a view of what is happening in the companies, because it is like this one, we're just like one big group, but in fact what is going on the floor, you can say, in the small companies. And it is where we get a picture of what is it they're struggling with, and that is where we can help them. So some of them we had here, it was related to the digital passport, and it is when the team is working, they're working with what kind of information should there be in it. So the solution they're coming up with is also something where you can use it afterwards. So they're giving like a playbook, or they're giving like an agenda for the company. This is what you have to look into. And the company can also see, okay, what is it we're lacking to get this information and put it inside. And then we have, of course, I've been working with, because there is the big fashion industry, and we can say, as we already know, or we can agree on here, that we are not to use any clothes anymore, but what to do with it. So it is like the behavior also have to change, and the companies also have to change. Because I think it's something like, now we went to Houdini yesterday, and then they say, okay, they have a reuse or return, and then I get a voucher. But what to do with the voucher? Then I just keep on the wheel that we have to use more textile and more fashion, and that is not the issue. That is not what we are going to do. We have to have it to last longer, but how can we have data, or how can we have information that give us the trust that when I buy this one, it lasts for so many years? And it is also an issue related to the company. How should we prevent your customers or users to that when you're buying this one would last? And then we are having a lot of data related to it. And that is what we have to keep on doing now. And that is also why we have the digital passport, to have the information we can put in it. But it is something to work with. I think I saw yesterday, or I was to a conference where they say I should have about 80 pieces of clothes in my clothes or in my wardrobe. But and if you look at that, then you can say, okay, how much do you change it? And that is also, when you only have that amount, it is the funny thing, if you're a fashion company working with the fast fashion, then you cannot get the items out, because nobody is buying it anymore. But that is the issue. And then I will just say, I worked with, because we have the fashion industry, but also now we are looking into, we have a lot of services around it. So it is, what about the take back? And that is not because we have all the production and we have it in-house or outhouse, and then we also have the service. And there is coming a lot of new business models related to the services. And that is also very interesting to look into that. And there also, because we've been working with laundries related to hospitals and hotels, because all of the textile they're working with, what to do with that next. And that is also because when you look at a doctor normally has a jacket to here, but the nurse only has a jacket to here. And then you can say, okay, why does a doctor need this more fabric? And in fact, you have the pockets here, or you have the pockets here, but we need it, because then I'm a doctor. If I have it up here, then I'm just a nurse, and that is not why I've been educated so far. So that is the issue that we have. So what they're trying now in a Danish hospital, they're trying to have 5 pieces of items for uniforms. And then you can say, okay, so the cleaning lady and the professor is wearing the same clothes. So how can we maybe they have a pen, and then so if you have a pen, then you're a doctor. But there is an issue that we have to work with, because now we can talk about, textile and return and sustainability. There is also how do we communicate, and that is also a part of it. I think I've come across. This is some of what the company are using it for. It's different. Many of them takes it. When the students have the presentation, it's related, of course, to the company, and the company invite people that are interested in the solution. And when they look at it, sometimes they be confirmed in the thoughts they're having when they started. Is it right or is it not right? And then they have a team, and the team is coming up from the research and the result that it is the way we're going. Then say, okay, then we're moving this way. Others are just, you can say, like the packaging. You can say it's a bit, there is some challenging in it, but it does something when you just give a push to the thinking you are having and coming up with something else. I think I can see there is a lady standing there. I'm sorry. But in a minute, and she said, I didn't want to cross in. So I was just say, I think we have just, we are, of course, it's just to give the frame. And as Andreas was saying as well, we are working with the Danish lifestyle cluster, and it is the fashion industry we're working with, but you can also make it like, in a region. So you take just your country or your part of the country and say, okay, we collaborate with the universities we're having there and compare them with the companies we're having. And then you have it like keeping the talented people to get, and you can see, get the eyes for the companies, and the companies can also see what can they use the talented people for. So it's different what kind of frame you're making for making a spin-in. This I think you can read, because it's just plug and play. Day 1, 2, 3, 4, and then you're finished. So this is our website, and where we are having, and there are also videos, case videos there from there. Yeah. And of course, you're welcome to get in contact with us, and we'll be here, of course,
and
today.
You can have the presentation, of course. Yeah.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pia and Helene. It's really inspiring, and I'm sorry to interrupt
it's
you.
Right. I just love to stand.
But I have to ask you one question. The audience here, how could we copy or do something similar in our places?
But I think the most important thing is that you have a mentor. And I have it because you have the companies, and they're speaking, as we're saying, they're speaking a certain kind of language, and they're also looking for something. It has to be profitable. We have to have something out of it. Otherwise, we don't want to use the hours for it. And then we have, of course, the students, and you have to have the interdisciplinary students. When you have the team of that, you push more, and you don't like just one area to look into. But when you have a mentor, and the mentors we're using are from the universities, and if you have a mentor from a university with a slash of companies, then have a knowledge of company, then you should have a mentor that can speak the language of a company and also to the students. That is the best thing. And I think the more, because sometimes people are saying, okay, how much time does it take? And I would say it is in the beginning, and that is also, it is the planning. So for the company, it's not when it's running, it's before it's running, because you have to have the clear challenge, and that is where you have to use the time. When it's running, it's mainly supporting, you can say, the process, and of course finishing it up. But it is in the start, it is the challenge.
The project is running for 4 weeks. So we start up with a meeting in the headquarters, and then we have 2 mentor meetings during the 4 weeks, and then we have a presentation in the headquarters in the end.
Okay, great. Thank you so much. And please contact them. Thank you. You can go this way. Hey.